Today we're going out to get a sewing awl. This is going to be for, light leather working and such. I don't know. I really don't know how to use them. But the one I'm really interested in is probably the worst rated one I found. And I'm curious on if the reviews are as bad as they state. Now, the place that we're going to find these tools is Hobby Lobby. We're going to go home, see if, this is as bad as they say it is. Also, question. Have you guys ever seen that they don't have barcodes? I hear it's because they think barcodes were like the mark of the beast back in the 80s.
It's the mark of the demon!
I'm curious if that's true, but that's beyond the point. One more stop, we're going to see if we can find some materials out in the wild. Okay, back at the house, and I have the tool. Now, the reason I'm curious about this one is because of some of the really weird, not weird, but it doesn't have the greatest reviews. Okay, Sewing Awl has 2 out of 5-star review. Now, some of them are pretty interesting. It's a big waste of money. I think this is the second time I wrote a review on something. The needles doesn't stay in place. Thread get caught in the bobbin, and the handle isn't worth 2 cents. Go buy a Speedy Awl. Terrible product. Wish I had read a review on this before I bought it. Total crap. Negative star if I could. Then you have the next one. Now, this is strange. It's all, look at the dates. August 22nd, August 22nd, August 22nd, August 22nd. They're mostly August 22nd. So I'm curious as to what's going on here. Then you have this person. I guess if you don't know how to use it, it could be frustrating. I've used these type of sewing awls for almost 30 years. Never a problem, even this once. I even like having a few of them loaded with the most popular thread that I commonly use. So that means there's some people that really like this kind, but I'm curious as to if, they're using a different kind or something else. Okay, so let's take a look at this and see what we got. So, packaging wise, you can see directly into it. You see the awl, you see some needles, a tool. Alright? So, the awl itself has a little bit of wobble in the handle. I don't know if that's showing up too well. A little set screw. And we got looks like not a captive bolt, but it looks like the fixture that holds that needle into place. So, all it comes with, we have the tool itself with a preloaded bobbin in it, a little wrench and screwdriver, combo tool. And we have 2 different kinds of needles. We have a straight needle and a curved needle. So, seems like a big complaint on a lot of the reviews was that there was no hole for the thread to go through. And let's see here. So, as far as I can see, no, that is a solid space inside. That's a little bit strange. Because I know from seeing videos on other ones of these or seeing other awls in general, there is a hole set there because the string is supposed to, String is supposed to go through the middle and then up your pin or up the needle. Cause yeah, it looks like you use the correct needle. There is a little channel there for the thread to go up. I think it shows up a little bit. Hopefully. What happens is that thread goes up through that hole along here and then out the needle eye. So even though that is annoying, I'm curious if you can use it like that, because I think that helps keep tension on the thread. You know, I'm a person of tools. I think, you know what? Yeah, let's figure this out. Okay. Got that set. Doesn't feel too sharp. Let's see, where is that string? Now, I don't think that makes sense at all. I think if there should be or can be a hole through there, just to make it easier on everybody, there should be. There's no reason for us to have to, you know, pull out a drill and drill a hole. That's stupid. But that being said, what's done is done. Now let's get, not gonna lie, setting that thread in there is probably the hardest part. I'm sure there's easier ways of doing it, but I definitely haven't found it. So I'm just using the thread that came with it, which is just embroidering thread. I just gonna do with what I got. So I'm gonna set the needle in there. So you want to set the needle in there, but you want to make sure that thread goes along that channel that I showed you earlier. I'm gonna take that wrench, slide it over there, and just make sure to kind of tighten that down. Now, oh, easy. Man, that was easier than getting the thread through. So, I'm gonna go over some of the complaints again. People are saying the handle's cheap. I mean, it's just a piece of pine. Like, you can basically pull off the end here. You know, the threads are kind of gross. It's not the best, you know, it's not the best quality item, but for $10, I don't know, I'm not going to complain too much about those threads. So eventually it's just going to be kind of popped on there. But that's not that big of a deal to me. So cheap handle, whatever. They were complaining about, you know, it being sort of shoddy. I mean, it's cheap. I can definitely say it's that, but there is, you know, the handle. Yeah, the handle's not really set that well, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about that. If that becomes an issue, I'll probably just drill a couple holes into the side and just set some screws in there. Another complaint I saw was that the needle doesn't stay tight. So far, this needle's pretty tight. I have no complaints about that. I would like to tighten this down to try to get some friction behind that thread, because it's just sort of, yeah. So, okay, got my thread ripper. Took it from my daughter's sewing kit. Hopefully that works. And we got our $10 leather jacket that we got from Goodwill. Now we're going to see if we can use this. Hopefully we can, but I'm going to just dismantle a part of it because this is a cheaper of the leather jackets I have bought. I've bought one more, but I'm not ready to go into that one yet. So I'm just going to start by tearing this down. Oh, and fun fact, yeah, little paper cutter, for any paper use. And I don't know if this will work for, all thicknesses. Obviously, there's going to be a thickness that, can't fit through there, but pretty simple. Line your leather up in there, set it down, and then press down, and boom, real clean cut. I don't know. I think that's really good. So let's go over some of the reviews again and see if I've sort of gotten past those. Let's see here. The needle doesn't stay in place. Thread gets caught up in the bobbin, and the handle isn't worth $2. So, needle stays in place. Just tighten it down. Thread gets caught up in the bobbin. Not entirely sure what they were doing for that to happen. And the handle, it's a cheap handle, but it's what you get for, a $10 tool. Wish I had read total crap. That doesn't help. Terrible. Let's see here. This thing's a piece of junk and insanely overpriced. Needle won't stay in. Again. Stays in just fine for me. Mine didn't have a hole for the thread to go through. That is true. There was no hole in here. No hole in here just to let the thread go through the way it's supposed to. I had to modify it. I had to drill a hole through there. But now it works, I would say, perfectly normal. The tool that comes with it doesn't fit the Phillips head. That's true. This piece works great for tightening down the head, but no Phillips head to tighten up that bolt. Number 5, crap. Okay. But yeah, no. Mainly bought this to do leather work for, LARP gear, armor, clothing, and I'm actually hoping to make a pair of shoes. So, catch me in the next one if you want to watch that. Have a good one.